nobody goes, and until we've gone there, nobody can go. So this is really what makes me feel good. It's the best job you can think of.
I love the greenery here. I love when the mustard blooms. Our lives may be different, and other women may not understand things about our lives. But I think there are things where we are similar. I want to prepare my children for the future. There are challenges here. We have electricity problems. To cook on a traditional mud stove, everything was black. The pots were black. The air was black. It was impossible to clean things. For 10 or 12 years, even do schoolwork inside the house. I used to get sick and cough all the time. My eyes hurt from the smoke, and I had trouble breathing. What more could you hope for from something? I've used it now for almost 2 years. It uses less fuel and it cooks faster. There is less smoke. Big thing. I can use that time in other ways. To help others. Something that shows that we matter. I am Vandana Dubey.
Year. Most of the victims are women and children. Help us achieve our goal of 100 million clean cook stoves by 2020. The Global Alliance for Clean
Kanya gotana gachen iju ngana chode tagreda Allah kedal ma wala wal moria kanwe bale ko korea gon ke bayna ma wen jiji wona de langan ka lang Le carre den bala ni tol de tol nanti. Joden chiben di gide bal ngerta ye tol gide. Ta gerde ta mo ona lo ji. Joden. Tab tol dok tol delta. Nan to manek gitu ka baca. Wong neke tol de ma bodo ka baca cepurto dok tenniol. Kagong kadoi kagu kama kakun madarsa kanyar kago kido warganya makakun madarsa gon kanyar na kaku kiji marado magaru gida menki ya ko madarsa kuen jarug nana tol tagar data tasar jeganne sabit bezul kayede madar pates bakarang ngum kete sekarang ngumus kete nulla kete pilot. Karong ketugunan lega ka terigal wamma. Karong ka maren lo aja.
Ich heiße Ines, ich komme aus Syrien und ich bin 17 Jahre alt. Ich habe in Syrien gelebt mit meiner Familie. Im Jahr 2011 fing der Krieg an. Vom Flughafen im Libanon nach Ägypten geflogen. Da sind wir 2 Jahre geblieben. Und dann sind mein Vater und mein Bruder zurück nach Syrien gefahren. Deutschland und ich warte auf meinen Vater. Ich hoffe, er kommt irgendwann. alt. Ich komme aus Syrien und liebe Blumen sehr. Und die Blumen in Deutschland sind sehr, sehr schön. Ich Deutschland und ich möchte weiter in Deutschland lernen. Ich möchte zur Gesamtschule gehen und Abitur machen. Ich will dann auch studieren. Ich möchte Architektin werden.
Hallo, ich heiße Marwan, ich bin aus Syrien gekommen und ich bin 17. Ja, ich bin von Syrien nach Jordanien zu Fuß gegangen und von Jordanien nach Deutschland geflogen, ins Krankenhaus direkt. Ich habe so viele Operationen gemacht und meine Familie sind noch in in Syrien vorbei ist, dann fliege ich zu meinen Eltern, weil ich habe so lange die nicht gesehen.
Ich bin Hanna, ich bin 14 Jahre alt. Ich komme aus Syrien. Ich bin seit eine normale Schule besuchen. Studieren will ich auch. Am liebsten Medizin. Dann kann ich Kinderärztin werden und fliegen nach
شوي كل واحد شوي شوي اكيد لانه امي وابي مش هون يعني الموجود يعني اللي ربوه مش معه. هلا انا لازم اكون معه، انا لازم دير بالي عليه. الخلافات بالمنطقة اللي قاعدين فيها مشاكل كتير ابدا ما في امان. يعني ممكن نموت. انه كان حلمي روح على المانيا. ألمانيا بلد حلوة كتير وأمان ونظام وكل شيء. اللي هون بالمنطقة بكفي إنه في حرية، في نظام، لا ما بخاف يطلع من البيت، ما في حدا يأذينا، ما في حدا يعادينا. أهله بلا رفقاته، بس كمان مبسوط إنه طلعت من لبنان بخير وسلام ووصلت بخير وسلام.
I think it shows that for us to it's a very symbolic and very powerful way of celebrating the 70th anniversary of the United Nations.
The government in Cambodia. But this industry still faces many challenges, and that's what Better Work is here for. Making good working conditions a directly with managers and workers, supporting them to make improvements on things like health and safety. I also spend a lot of time bringing on how to fix problems. Doing this job has really changed me. I see that when we do our job well, it makes a real
What really gets me out of bed in the morning is being able to bring people together from across the garment industry to forge meaningful partnerships. After 15 years work in the World Bank Group, we're in a unique position to bring key players together who often don't see eye to eye, including trade unions, employers, buyers, and governments. It's not enough to focus on what brands do. To create real change, we look at the policy environment in which business operates, so that supporting labour rights
As the head of Better Work Haiti, my focus is to work with national stakeholders to improve the labor standards. This means bringing employees We also provide training for the union leaders so they can more effectively advocate for the workers they represent. Women make up the vast majority workers directly empowers women. Our work aims to reward good factories and prove that good working conditions are a more profitable business model, benefiting all. Around the clock because the outcome matters too much to too many.
Leader of the world, I would probably change. I'll probably make sure that each family has like a nice little home for themselves.
So that they wouldn't have to suffer anymore. If you're out there starving with no shelter, you would obviously want to be helped.
If I were leader of the world, I would absolutely start charity. Fundraisers to maybe get the people who are refugees and to make sure to focus more on this situation because it's really big and it's not good to have people
أنا عم بفكر إيش بده يصير معنا بدنا نموت كنا دوم نخاف وعنا كان دوم يصير حرب وهيك شيء ومرة اجت 3 قذايف على منطقتنا اجوا بس ما الحمد لله ما صار شيء كانوا ياخذوا غصب عنهم الرجال يعني اخواتي هذول غصب عنهم بده يروحوا واذا اخوي يروح ما حدا كنا كويسين مع بعض ولا خلينا وكل واحد عم يطرح الشباب يقولوا انه اجت موج
يا عساكر يجوا البلم يشقوها نوقع بالمي نفطس هادو بعدين اليوم من امبارح الصبح بنمشي لهلا يمكن شي 50 كيلومتر هيك شي في عندي كان العاب هيك شي بس اذا الله حمى سوريا وصارت سوريا بنرجع وبعد ما اخذنا بدنا نروح على الاسنة وبعدين بدنا نروح على المانيا كمان بنروح على المدرسة أسس حياتنا كمان هلا أنا مشتاقة لرفقاتي بس وين
ليش أزعلك؟ إذا بدي أزعلك بدي أحكي لك قصة طلعنا على البلد. أيوة بعد ما مشينا شوي المي دخلت على البلم وكل ما نمشي يطرش علينا مي. نمشي هيك نقرة صغيرة كل ما يمشي يطرش علينا مي وأنا كنت لابسة هيك مسكن نفسي وكنت بردانة كتير كتير كتير. بعد ما كانت شنطتنا وهي بالها شنطيتها مشان تعطيتها للزلمة كبر بالبحر وكان كل أغراضي جداد. بعد ما لبست لبسة هاي مثلا حدا كبرنا أغراضنا بالبلم قلت لا ما حينكبوا يا ماما. قلت لا أنا محطوطة بالشنطة طلع كلامي صح نكبوا. البنزين أجى هذا تبع صياد السمك شدنا على الشاطئ. طلعنا على الجبل طلعنا على الجبل كتير 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 هذا بس أطلع من جهة أقول خلص أرجع أطلع. أنا ما كنت متذكرة كتير. بعد ما وصلنا على هذا نفضنا حالنا صرنا نروح على الشرطة. بعد ما رحنا على الشرطة قالوا لنا روحوا سوريا. أيوة اشتقت لها لأنستي وكانت أنستي كتير حبابة يعني ما كانت تزعلني طول وكتير رفقة عندي كان. خلاص ترجع سوريا مثل الأول.
It came in a life jackets. Somebody handed me a life jacket, and I was like, why am I getting a life jacket? And I looked inside, and inside was a 5-day-old baby. You need a blanket? Blanket? Yeah. Sometimes you're here. Too many. Too many. Come with me. Come with me. We'll get them checked. Both of yours. Because if I'm fleeing a war with a child, I hope that there's another mom saying, okay, let me help you.
مش نیم مادر خبرنگار آمد از اون سوال پرسم ما شکر خوبم تشویش نکنم باش آزاد هستم فقط تشویش نکنم باش براتون یک احوال بدم که شما ما خوب هستم تشویش ما را نکنید ما بخیر تا اینجا رسیدیم ان شاء الله ببینیم که چطور خوش نمیشه لالا جان خوش شدم بعد تا گریانم گرفت اما دیگه اینجا تقریبا دوستا اگر پیسه بتگه نتونو کمپس یا بسکت بخو یا خاطره بعد من است از وقتی که از افغانستان حرکت کردم قاچاقی آمدم چون دست پایم فعال بود کمشیمه بود حرکت نداشت دوستا بچه ها کمک کردن خیلی جای غلط دیدن دوستایم بسیار شارید وضعیت خراب پلیس پیش ما کرد لط ما کردن دیگه بالاخره فرار نداره فقط میخوایم هر چی زودتر از اینجا برایم آرزوی زندگی من است که من فامیلم در افغانستان فعلا به سر نوشته است خبرشون رو ندارم که آیا زنده هستن یا نیستن خبرم ندارم
Like a mass exodus. They fled their homes in Syria, in Afghanistan, and in Iraq. They're traveling with just the clothes on their back mostly. This morning we were on the border of saw thousands of people board this train this morning. Until you witness it firsthand, and even witnessing it firsthand, it's hard to fathom really the level to which they arrived in Prešova this morning. A lot of people very lost and confused, tired and hungry, and it's very stressful. of sort of fun and play where the family members are sitting outside and the kids are inside playing and singing and long journey and to actually get to play a little. I feel very privileged to have really had the chance to see a lot of what's been unfolding here, and
in Hoi village has something to watch. Boon Ponyahak and her neighbors are engrossed in this soap opera about a family just like theirs, who live in a typical village. The series, called My Happy Family, features valuable information about nutrition, especially for mothers and children.
สบายดีน้อยอยู่นี่คือมีจะฮู้บ่
Information like this is important to mothers because chronic undernutrition in children is a major challenge in Laos.
Every second these children are sick more often, have low learning outcomes, reduced lifetime earnings, and as such and stay in a cycle of poverty.
Work together on a project which links agricultural production with nutrition so that people like Boon are not just producing more food, but know what food is best to eat and how to prepare it.
ในการสร้างสารคดีตัวนี้ขึ้นมาก็เพื่อ
Another aspect in developing this video series was that we wanted it to be attractive for viewers in order to make it more memorable and engaging. The story was certainly memorable. She is out the very next day hunting for paknyok and patkut, wild vegetables which were featured in yesterday's episode. She knew these plants.
ตอนหน้าจะทอดบะเทียนตามกันนี้
In the future, I want to apply what I saw. I've learned about fern, Asian spinach, and Chinese cabbage, and how to prepare a healthy soup from and parents separately.
Boon is cooking such a separate meal for her child right now. Sweet. To tackle the problem of children being fed sticky rice or other food from the family table before their bodies can digest it. There is not enough fish for everybody, so for the rest of the family, she is making a beans mix. Provides each family with bean seeds and advice on how to grow them. She has plenty of beans available. So now she not only knows what food is good for her family, but also how to grow it and cook it. Showing, and they don't want to miss it. That's just how it is with soap operas. Once you're hooked, you just can't stop watching them.
East Niger.
I came here with my friend and colleague Antonio to film WFP operations for the recent mass displacement of people from Nigeria.
Donc, le village attaqué ici.
We drive more than 2 hours to reach Bosso. The situation is very tense, and
Bosso, a small town in Niger, right on the border with Nigeria. 200 meters, the border is there, it's just a riverbed. Since the outbreak of clashes in northern Nigeria, Niger has witnessed a small town of 10,000 people. Today accounts for 20,000 people, double the population. They fully depend on humanitarian assistance. Displaced and host community population alike, with a particular focus on children under 5, mother, pregnant, lactating women.
Gunshots, and I stepped out of my house. I saw 2 dead bodies, so I grabbed my baby and ran.
Bosso is the town we were yesterday. And the base is called is mission off, so we had to back and leave. We're now heading back to Difa.
back in the office, some insurgents In fact, a few hours later, we learned that today the insurgents were defeated and pushed back. Antonio and the team drive me to the airport, but he and security camped in the office. But as fighting escalated, some staff was relocated to a safer place. A few remained to enable the humanitarian assistance to continue.
Here in eastern Uganda, 52-year-old Joseph Tidibita leaving his third wife Irene to look after the children as best she could.
So many things were missing. If I asked him for soap or salt, he would say he didn't have money.
Joseph and his family were selected by the community for household mentoring, a pilot program designed to help the most disadvantaged families imagine their lives differently, while giving them the skills and knowledge to overcome. She began visiting them regularly, helping them identify the reasons why they are staying poor and encouraging them to work together towards a shared vision.
It's not common for households to have such a vision. As they implement the activities in the action plans.
In her role as mentor, Sarah helped the family set their own goals and gave them advice on better hygiene and family planning at home, as well as more
Ability to do all things around the house,
Whether it's farming, nursing the children, or taking them to school, everyone is involved.
Through mentoring, Joseph began to realize poor.
I have learned that when you trust your partner, she will also trust you. When people saw how much our lives had changed, they asked us how we did it.
They share the chores, and with Irene in charge of the money, they have enough food to eat and sell, send their children to school, have increased the area they farm, and can even put some money aside for future plans. Set up by the International Fund for Agricultural Development, or IFAD, and the Ugandan government, over 90% of these families have greatly improved their lives as a result of their involvement. And struggling to survive. Peter gave her the confidence and competence to farm her own land, enabling her to fully participate in her society and take advantage of the benefits it offers.
Development of households that are usually otherwise bypassed by main development investment.
Families who have demonstrated improvements are eligible for Although here the program has now finished, household mentoring continues in an informal way. Today, Joseph is a role model in his community, sharing are looking at ways to introduce it in other districts across the country, giving more poor families the chance to break out of their cycle of poverty.
Migrant workers living in Europe. European Flows and Markets, released by the International Fund for Agricultural Development, or IFAD.
Western Europe and Russia account today for 1/5 of the global flows to developing countries.
The IFAD report focuses on migrant workers, like Melina Safranca, who make up 90% of migrants worldwide. Melina lives in Rome with her husband and daughter.
Wants to go in high university and to become a doctor.
Although the reasons may vary, when added together, the small sums that millions of migrant workers in 2014, 1/3 of European remittances, or $36.5 billion, went to the Balkans, the Baltics, and Eastern Europe, while the remaining 2/3, or 70. The report says remittances from Europe did not represent a significant outflow of wealth, amounting to less than 0.7% of individual country GDP.